Alright guys, welcome back to VALORANT News with the playoffs concluding around the world. Big questions being raised as to what is going to be happening with the teams that didn't even make the playoffs, or most certainly the teams that didn't qualify for the World Championship. Some teams, including Sentinels, already ready to go to Seoul for the World Championship. But teams such as NRG, they are blowing up their roster, as we full well know. Lots of rumours though emerging over the last couple of days. Exactly why, what happened behind the scenes this season. Victor reveals that it was not a management decision, but rather potentially a player decision why he was dropped from the team, implying that some serious friction there potentially between himself and some of those players still on the roster. But Chet's also revealing exactly the reason why Marved and Demon 1 were dropped at the midway point of the season. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new. As always, I would greatly appreciate it. First of all, here are the trophies for the international leagues. And, well, there are some nice trophies in here. This is the Americas on the top left-hand side. Maybe my favourite one. I kind of like the China one. I kind of like the Pacific one. I don't know what's scared on an EMEA, respectfully. It was in the replies, actually. Boaster was like, yeah, definitely an 8R one, because it does look like it's been 3D printed. Actually, this is what Durga says, printed out this bad boy. And, yeah, there you go. I don't know. I mean, it's a design, isn't it? I know there was talk about maybe they should have some more coherence across the different regions. The trophy should be more similar or something. And, well, I think they should all maybe not be the same, but maybe kind of the same vibe. I'm kind of confused what was going on here, but whatever. That's what Fnatic ended up winning. So congratulations to these boys, because what a result. And the fact that they've been able to turn it around as they have done from the start of the season to now is very impressive, I think, from the Fnatic perspective. And they go in as the EMEA favourites. They're not going to be the tournament favourites, but they're certainly going to be up there in the conversation, right, with a 3-1 win over Vitality in the end. And, you know, the grand finals was honestly kind of comfortable. Like, since Heroes come in for Leo, and I'm not saying that, you know, Leo's return shouldn't happen at some point, because even Fnatic have said Leo's so good, we are going to bring it back. But it's just sometimes you need a bit of a change of environment, need a bit of a change of maybe even team, as we've seen here. Hero comes in, and to some degree maybe reinvigorates the culture on some level, and all of a sudden they're right back to maybe not exactly where they were last year winning everything, but they're certainly up there nowadays, right? I mean, they won the first map, they lost the Ascent, then they won the next two, 13-9, 13-3, dominated the binds, Vitality out of the championship, and it's Fnatic that move onwards. This, by the way, was the finals in the Chinese side. Edward Gaming did get the 3-2 win over FPX in the end, so incredible result, especially because it's not like Kang was carrying super hard, but Death, Taxes, and Edward Gaming winning their own region. What happened internationally is another question, though, entirely. And in the Pacific, they had some actual kind of fire graphics and stuff set up here to get the championship grand final underway with obviously the crowd and everything. I mean, have a look at this. Pretty spectacular stuff, to be honest. And the way that this is going right now, if I hit the refresh, is as follows. Gen.G up 2-1 on DRX. We, of course, had the incredible result of DRX taking down PaperX to even make the grand finals in the first place. And on the Icebox, it's looking like Gen.G are on the verge of closing out this series, right? The Haven was 13-6 to DRX, but after that, Gen.G have bounced back in the series after a ridiculous overtime on the binds, which ends up 18-16. And when you follow up a crazy overtime like this with another overtime loss on the Lotus, that's one of those that is likely to break your spirit on some level. And even to be fair, after starting 3-0 on the Icebox, since then it's looked like Gen.G are potentially going to take this, but, you know, who knows? Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comments below on either of these teams, but yeah, looks like Gen.G still remaining the team to beat in that region as it stands. And in the Americas, Lev, they get themselves back to the grand finals just about, taking down Crew 3-2. Just wanted to show you guys before I look at these numbers, by the way. It was only the other day where Lev 2-0'd Crew Esports 13-2, 13-4. And here we are 2 days later with Leviathan beating Crew 3-2 in an absolute bloodbath bagger series. So it is confusing, to say the least. I think both of these teams confuse me in some ways. Crew... And both Lev and Crew are like incredibly momentum-based teams. Like they literally won game 1 13-3, but after that it was the Haven bounce back. It was the Sunset win for Crew. They got up 2-1. Then the Abyss goes the other way. And then the final Ascent was 13-10. Kind of notable as well that in the same way that Sentinels tried running Deadlock on Ascent, Mazzino actually does it for Lev and it worked. They looked pretty damn good. So interesting to see how the meta is going to evolve going into the World Championship in a couple of weeks' time now. But I think Liv will have kind of shown themselves that they are not exactly, you know, they're going to be a force, but they're not exactly going to be an untamable force, as in they can, if they're on the back foot, kind of spiral out of control to some degree. And, well, I think we saw that yesterday, but they end up getting over the line. So they make it back to the grand finals. They'll play G2 today again to determine in that best of 5 who's going to win the entire thing. TenZ, by the way, already says flying out to Korea. So the World Championship starts, I think, on the 1st of August. So it's kind of early, but I guess if you know, he wants to get out there, just chill for a little bit, or potentially get some boot camping going with the team, and obviously, you know, make that work going into the World Championship. That's going to be their plan, I am sure. But let's talk about some of the drama on the NRG side, because they weren't even in the playoffs. They're certainly not going to be at the World Championship. What are they going to do with their roster? Right, we've seen already a couple of changes. Chet is gone. Victor is gone. There are rumors that Demon 1 is potentially returning there to the starting lineup, but Chet has a few interesting words to say. I'll share what he said on certainly the Marved and Demon 1 situation, but also what Victor talked about in terms of why he was dropped.
I mean, I'll say we didn't work the best, like the hardest, the first roster. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, like who wasn't working the hardest?
I mean, I think it's pretty obvious, depending on who got cut, no, or what. Like, what a question.
So, Demon 1 and Marv.
But I think they realized that, and like when they got cut, they were told that. So
you're saying Demon 1 got complacent after winning 23 World Champs, and you're calling him like immature and lazy as fuck, and wasn't ready to put the work in?
These are all words only you said, by the way. Only you said these words. I didn't say these words.
Was it more management? No, management, or sorry, removing me was definitely not management. I think it was more team based. Thoughts on Mark? So Jimmy? Fuck, now I know what it feels like to be cut. Any hard feelings? Nah. I mean, it's fine. Can't always be playing with the same people all the time. Like, you're not gonna be teammates with like a group of people for your whole career, so it's just the way it is. It's whatever. Change that class again? Actually, yeah. Thanks for reminding me. I will. If you can share, why'd you get dropped? Pretty much what happened was, obviously our results weren't good for the whole year, and my contract was expiring at the same time, like the year's ending, like this year, while everyone else's contracts are still like continuing for the next year. So change was probably needed, and my contract's up. That revenge game against NRG is gonna be cinema. No call.
Shit, we can try to see.
I told Austin that too. I was like,
I
was like,
too, so you should make that one.
the game against them. Oh my god, I'm trying so fucking
Yeah,
hard.
can you buy
Holy
me?
shit. Crash's contract is also ending at the same time, but I will not speak for him. 2v mid.
Enemy remaining.
Oh my
Spike down.
god.
B.
Oh my gosh, Valine. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm dead.
So I think the Marved angle, there were rumours to this effect, absolutely right, because there was discussion about that time when Marved was like on stream late night just before a game the next day, and the issue is for NRG is that in many ways they had like everything they could ever have wanted, right? From like a player perspective, that, you know, they've got a facility, they've got a chef, they've got food been made for them and all this type of stuff. You'd think they'd be super locked in, but no, the rumor has it maybe that it's not so clear cut, and actually the players, maybe for those reasons or other reasons, were actually not taking things quite as seriously as they needed to be. Marved, you know, it seems like was the most obvious example of that, but he also puts Demon 1 in a similar category, and, you know, interesting to say, Demon 1, of course, world champion last year, MVP of the season, was obviously considered to be a serious force for this year as well. Clearly an incredibly talented player, but, you know, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard, or whatever you want to say, and for those reasons, he was out of the team. The Victor stuff, though, is actually very interesting to me, because Obviously, Chet and Victor and Crashies, they were boys on some level, but of course Chet's gone anyway, they got rid of him, so presumably he's not making too many more of the decisions from this team from now to the end of time. So then it was apparently the team that decided that actually, no, Victor, we don't want you around anymore, time for change type thing, and I think he takes it relatively well and says, you know what, well, you know, sometimes it's time for change, the organization has got to, and the team has got to make some differences to the roster, and maybe it's about time he plays with somebody else, but at the same time implies there was a breakdown of trust or belief or chemistry or whatever with his team, and also potentially his duo in Mr. Crashies, who is still there while Victor is now gone. So creating some exciting storylines. Very much intrigued to your thoughts on them in the comments section below. Marv obviously is looking to get back into it, but you know, if this kind of feeling around his mentality and his conviction and his commitment is a question, then that may make some people think twice about picking him up next year. But Demon 1, for all that was said and talked about, it's pretty likely, I think, that, well, NRG want to keep him around and try and build around him for next year, probably with a different coaching staff to see if they can get the best out of him. But very much intrigued to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Gen.G just closed out that Icebox, by the way, 13-6 to close out the series in the Pacific 3-1, and the Americas is coming up in just a few hours' time. So hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.